Hey guys, Mike Chen here in Phoenix, Arizona. When you typically think of Arizona food, lobster may not be the first thing that pops in your head, but there is a hidden gem of a drive-through lobster shop that only exists in Arizona. It's supposed to be mind-blowing. Let's go check it out. So Angie's Lobster only exists in Arizona. And this is a place where you can get a lobster roll for $8.50. I don't think I've ever seen price point like that before. So I got pretty much all the lobster options on the menu. First thing I'm trying is their warm lobster roll. Comes with a little pouch of butter. Add the butter on and look at this lobster roll. Loaded, and I mean loaded, with giant chunks of lobster. I see some claw in there, some tail. This thing is pretty much falling off the roll. I can't believe this is $8. I really can't. I mean, the lobster roll is really simple. It's pretty much just chopped up lobster, drizzled with butter. Honestly, you really don't need much else. It's sitting on a toasty, buttery roll. Giant chunks of super sweet lobster meat. There's meat from the claw, there's meat from the tail. If you just gave me this lobster roll, I say it's at least a $20 lobster roll. I mean, the meat is really sweet, it's succulent, it's buttery. This is a delicious, $8.50. I have no idea how Angie is accomplishing this, but this is absolutely magical. They're so good. It's just good or better than pretty much any lobster roll I've ever had. This is so crazy. I had to go find a picnic table because this place is only a drive-through, which may be one of the reasons how they're able to cut costs like this. And they really jazz up the lobster roll as well. This here is the fried lobster tail sandwich. Strips of fried lobster tail, some sauce on the side, over French fries. Again, the butter rolls, a pickle here as well. This is just called Angie's sauce. Fried lobster tail on a butter roll with a pickle. You gotta check this place out if you are ever in Arizona. This place might be one of my favorites in Arizona so far. I mean, the value for money is exceptional. And look at that sweet lobster meat inside the perfectly fried, crispy outer shell. Beautiful and refreshing snap from the pickle as well. The sauce has a little heat, very creamy, little sweet as well. And the whole combo with fries, $9.99. Also comes with a drink. And this is definitely a whole lobster tail right here. Wow. Finally, this is their latest special. This is the spicy honey fried lobster tail. Again, beautiful outer bun sitting on a pickle. This thing looks sauced up. Oh, this is my favorite so far. This thing is spicy, it's sweet. The outside texture of the lobster tail is crunchy. Inside, you still get that naturally sweet lobster meat that's so succulent, delicious. A little mayonnaise on the bottom as well. I wanna go back to this place right away and get another 5 of these. This might just be the greatest lobster sandwich ever. Again, whole tail lobster roll, $8.50. Yeah. You guys gotta check this place out if you're ever driving through Arizona. Remember, Arizona equals lobster. Lunch number 2, and I am so excited about this. I've been wanting to come to this place for a long time. I'm here at Kabob Grill N Go. This place has been featured in the New York Times as one of America's best restaurants. As soon as I walk in the door, the smoky aroma from the barbecue basically pelted me in the face. And everything is cooked in-house by Chef Tony. All the ingredients are fresh, never frozen. What you got going on over here?
I have thigh, I have pork ribs, I have black Angus kubidek.
And then you use what kind of, just what charcoal?
Mesquite.
Mesquite?
Oh yeah.
Look at the feast I'm about to embark on right now. And the meat just looks mesmerizing. Everything looks charred to absolute perfection. Look at that beautifully roasted jalapeno, serrano, roasted tomatoes just bursting with juice. I also got some eggplant salad, some chimichurri. There's some yogurt sauce to dip the meat in, and Shirazi salad. And this is again made in-house. Eggplant salad is so good. Zesty, smoky eggplant with a good amount of acid. This is gonna go so well with the meat. This Shirazi salad is amazing. Big chunks of tomatoes, onions, cucumbers. You can tell right away. All this is gonna go so good with the meat. Let me just cut a piece of this pork. If this is a food dream, may I never wake up, never. This is some of the greatest barbecue anywhere. Holy moly, this is good. I thought this was gonna be too much food. I don't think so. Oh man, this is amazing. The pork, so juicy, with that delicious char on the outside. Also, every time I chew, it's like I open a floodgate on this pork. The sauce that's added inside is Tony's secret recipe. That thing is savory, it's buttery, little bit of a bite, so much flavor in that sauce. Chase it with some rice and grilled jalapenos. This is way too good. If I lived in Phoenix, I'd be here all the time. I just get one of these trays every day for lunch. You know, as good as the pork is, eating it all together, like Tony recommended, it's just the best way to do it. Take a bite of pork, you can take a bite of the jalapeno, serrano peppers for some added smokiness for heat. It also acts as a bit of a palate cleanser. This is such a gem of a place. I mean, there's a lot of dipping sauce here. I haven't even used it yet. Honestly, you don't really need it. It's that good on its own. Chicken thigh. Oh my gosh, it's so crazy. There's definitely a lot of herbs and spices that's put into that house-made sauce. You can definitely taste it in the chicken thigh. Again, just like the pork, uber tender, super juicy. Every bite, you get that tiny hint of bitterness from the char, and it's so much smoke. I love everything that's in this plate. Everything serves a purpose. The onions, the tomatoes, the rice. I keep trying to remind myself to use the sauce, and I keep forgetting because every single meat tastes so good on its own. Oh, that kebab is delicious. Minced Angus, beautifully tender. There's a lot of spice in here. You can see the juiciness inside the kebab. Try that. Chase it with some tomatoes. Jalapenos, there's no exaggeration to say this might be too good. I'll sit here and eat this whole plate. I kid you not. I'm gonna add some of the yogurt sauce on the chicken just to taste that. The dipping sauce is so good, especially this yogurt mint one. Oh my gosh, it's creamy, it's minty, really refreshing with the cucumbers. Not a single non-extraordinary bite in this plate. If you love food, you're gonna adore this. Wow, chimichurri brings a good amount of heat. Oh, I love it. I love this so much. It's one of my favorite meals. There's also just so much juice. There's juice from the meat, there's juice from the onions, there's bursting sweet juice from the tomatoes. Every single ingredient plays its part. Every single thing contributes to the overall flavor of this giant meat veggie plate. I've eaten a lot of meals in my life. When I taste something that's extraordinary, it sticks with me. If you are ever in Phoenix, this is a top recommend. This place, you'll see what I mean when you take a bite. It is not your ordinary kebab. I've had many kebabs before, nothing like this. What Tony has done with the flavor, the texture, everything here, it's out of this world. Come here and give this a try, seriously.
346 minutes later.
I'm heading to dinner now, still thinking about that amazing kebab barbecue I just had. And such an unassuming location here in Phoenix, Arizona. If you are in Phoenix, if you are anywhere near driving distance to Phoenix, go try that place out. I guarantee you, you will love it. Oh my gosh, every time I think about that thing, my mouth waters. Anyway, dinner time. For dinner, I am here at downtown Phoenix at Miel De Agave, and they are doing a modern take on traditional Mexican cuisine, starting with this. This is empanada made with huitlacoche, which is a fungus that only grows on corn. Also inside there's some corn and cheese. Oh my gosh, as soon as you cut open the empanada, cheese starts oozing out. And you can see the kernels of corn, you can see the fungus, and there's definitely a lot of cheese in here. A little splash of lime juice. Oh, this is good. First of all, this empanada fried perfectly. The blue corn masa on the outside, little sweet, very light and crunchy, and the fungus has a nice smoky, earthy flavor to it. This is a really interesting empanada. And there's crunch on the outside, there's crunch on the inside. You got the sweetness from the corn, the hints of sweetness from the wrapper. That's delightful. Next up, elote. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is so good. First of all, this corn is toasted so well. Really nice, sweet popping kernels. It's really citrusy, which I like because it balances out the cheesiness of the corn. And yes, this thing is a cheesy. First time I had this was at a street fair in New York City. Blew my mind. Didn't know corn could taste like that. And this is such a delicious version. Next dish, birria tacos. Distinct toasted tortilla with cheese inside. Oh my God, it's burning hot. It's got a whole cheese skirt inside the tortilla, stuffed with beef. Served with a side of consomme. Oh my God. This is definitely the juiciest birria taco I've ever had. Oh wow, this is delicious. Shredded beef inside is just loaded with juice. Look at this. This thing is so savory and beefy. The only reason the juice is not leaking out from the bottom of the tortilla is because of the cheese skirt stopping the flood of beef juice. The consomme is delicious, adds an additional layer of umami burst. Don't forget to slurp when you take a bite. Add a little pickled onions to balance out the juice. This is outstanding. Also, check out this drink they just brought over. This is called a Chichen Itza. It's named after a pyramid, and it's a watermelon drink. And what's really interesting is the grasshopper sitting on the watermelon. That's because the grasshopper was a big part of the diet of the Mayans, and apparently it goes really good with watermelon. If you've never had grasshopper before, it's like a little meaty chip. The legs are very crunchy. The body itself is actually really chewy and meaty. I've never had it with watermelon before. It actually does go pretty well together. Next dish, these are sopes, fried masa on the bottom, and then on top there's beans and carnitas, crispy onions, and this is a hefty, hefty portion. Wow, this is amazing. This is everything I didn't know I was craving. The masa has such a nice texture with that great hint of sweetness. The beans and pork, holy moly, so much flavor, so much umami, so much delicious fattiness. A little creamy from the green salsa, and then a refreshing crunch from the onions and greens. This is so good. Oh my gosh. They also have their own version of chili oil. And the carnitas just melts in your mouth. Finally, a tostada. Crunchy tortilla, some guac, braised pork, pickled onions. This is so good. This place. The dishes look beautiful. They taste even better. Such a sensational crunch. Again, with that familiar hint of sweetness. And the pork is just melt in your mouth tender. I mean, the pork is so tender, I don't even know where the pork ends and the avocado sauce begins. Traditional flavors with a modern twist, and they execute everything perfectly. I remember the last time I was in Phoenix, had some amazing Mexican food. This time, no different. Drinks are really, really good too. This place, delicious food, such a fun atmosphere. Perfect last meal here in Phoenix. I can say without a doubt, this has been one of my favorite food days. Every place I went to, mind-blowingly delicious. Phoenix is really turning into an amazing food city. And as always, all places I went to list down below for you guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Until we eat again, see you later.
The next day.
On my way out of Phoenix this morning, had to come out to Angie's one last time. So this place opens at 6 a.m. so you can get lobster for breakfast. Also, I didn't know this, they have their own wharf. So They catch their own lobsters. Anyway, let me show you this breakfast lobster. Fried lobster tail with a scrambled egg. Scrambled eggs really light. Lobster fried perfectly as always in that sauce. It brings a little bit of kick. The ultimate breakfast sandwich for I think about $8. Like I said, can't misplace when you're in Arizona. I don't know how Angie's able to keep the lobster prices this low, but you better come here and catch yourself this deal.